is the voice of Vietnam.
This is the voice of Vietnam. Broadcasting from Hanoi, capital of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam.
Hello and welcome to the Voice of Vietnam. I'm Hung Nguyen. On today's show after the news. In current affairs, we'll shed light on the new government determination to achieve economic growth targets. And then Letterbox acknowledges the letter and email listeners sent us during the week. But first, just the news.
In the news headlines, top leaders of Vietnam and China hold talks. Vietnam strives towards net zero emissions. And IMF downgrades global growth forecast for 2026. Now the news in detail. General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee and President of Vietnam had talks with General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and President of China Xi Jinping in Beijing on Wednesday. A seminar in Hanoi on Wednesday discussed capacity building for Vietnam and promoting its role as host of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation 2027. In his opening remarks at the event, jointly held by the Secretariat of the National Committee for APEC 2027 and U.S. Department of State, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyễn Minh Hằng said that over the past 40 years, APEC has become the region's leading economic forum for its important contributions to regional peace, stability, and prosperity.
And now for the world news. The International Monetary Fund IMF on Tuesday released its World Economic Outlook report, lowering its forecast for global economic growth in 2026 and warning of potential negative impact from the Middle East conflict. The IMF projected global growth of 3.1% this year, 0.2 percentage points lower than its January estimate. The downgrade is based on the assumption that the Middle East conflict will be, quote-unquote, relatively short-lived.
To end the news, here are headlines once again. Top leaders of Vietnam and China hold talks. Vietnam strives towards net zero emissions. And IMF downgrades global growth forecast for 2026. That's the news on DOV. You are listening to the Voice of Vietnam, and here's the current affairs. The new Vietnamese government for the 2026-2031 term has just been formed, with a new cabinet lineup and new governance spirit centered on action, efficiency, and accountability. Welcome to Letterbox, our weekly feature dedicated to listeners around the world. We're Nhật Quỳnh Thu Khanh. It's always a pleasure to open the mailbox together with you. Over the past week, we received an impressive 415 letters, emails, and phone calls from listeners in 33 countries and territories. And also a reminder that radio, now also available on digital platforms, continues to connect us across borders.
Let's begin with a message from Romania. Wishing you Hawkes and congratulations on the launch of VV5's newly redesigned website.
Yeah, and he wrote that the new platform is modern, user-friendly, and...
Now let's see what we have from India. Lapanero from Chimoy Mahato, President of the Guide International Radio Listeners Club.
Voice of Vietnam is one of the most popular radio stations in the world. VV always respects all kinds of listeners. That's why all listeners like and love VOV. That's what he wrote. And Vendu also shared a nostalgic story. Quote, when I was a student, in the summer, we bought bamboo stick ice cream from bicycle vendors outside school.
That image is so vivid, it correlates strongly with Vietnam, where mobile ice cream vendors, often with bells, are nostalgic and still familiar sight in some neighborhoods. Like Shivanu Paul, Eko Andre Wiwono from Indonesia asked, how popular are cold drinks and ice cream in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, cold drinks and ice cream are extremely popular, especially during the hot summer months when temperatures exceed 35 degrees Celsius, you'll find a wide variety from traditional iced tea and fresh fruit juices to modern bubble tea and smoothies. That was Vietnamese singer-songwriter Hoàng Dũng with a song called Endless Summer. And now let's get back to our letterbox. What do we have?
Next listener, Kosun Rasif from Southend asked about the Khmer New Year, Chon Nam Thmay, celebrated by Khmer communities in Vietnam.
Chon Nam Thmay, the traditional New Year festival of the Khmer people, often referred to as the Khmer New Year. It's the most important annual celebration of the Khmer ethnic community in Vietnam, and is widely observed in provinces with large Khmer populations such as An Giang, Vĩnh Long, Cần Thơ, and Cà Mau.
This festival marks the beginning of a new year according to the traditional Khmer calendar. The name Chon Nam Thmay literally means entering the new year. It also signifies the transition from the dry season to the rainy season, closely tied to the agricultural life of the Khmer people.
And this year the festival takes place over 3 days, from April the 14th to April the 16th, and is a time for families to reunite, set aside daily work, and take part in religious and cultural activities.
During the celebration, Khmer communities perform traditional rituals such as welcoming the new year, bathing Buddha statues, offering food to monks, and worshipping ancestors. Alongside these spiritual practices are folk singing and dancing, traditional games, and water splashing rituals that symbolize blessings and good fortune.
And beyond celebrating the new year, Chon Nam Thmay wishes for favorable weather, abundant harvest, and prosperity. It's also a meaningful occasion for younger generations to honor their ancestors and preserve the rich cultural heritage of the Khmer people.
Khamsi from Laos asks about the Hung King's Commemoration Day.
Yep, and this is one of Vietnam's most important national holidays, held annually on the 10th day of the third lunar month. It falls on April the 26th this year, and it honors the legendary Hung Kings considered the founders of the Vietnamese nation. And on that day, thousands of people gathered at the Hong Temple in Phu Thọ province to pay tribute.
Cases of Phu Thọ province art festival. Sticky rice cake contest. A highlight will be a street folk culture festival linked with the colors of ancestral land tourism program and featuring exciting art performances.
And there will also be a marathon, a golf tournament, boat racing, swimming races, and an orchid exhibition. So Phu Thọ province will also offer a night tour of the Hong Temple relic site. So listeners, whether you're listening from, keep writing to us and share your stories. Goodbye until the next time.